let us all do we can to build a better future.
With that being said, let's play this third video we got. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, but we're going to go back in time. Time traveling, everyone. And it's buffering now.
My favorite.
Senator Harris, you have also been quite critical of Vice President Biden's policies on race, specifically on the issue of busing in the 1970s, having benefited from busing when you were a young child. Vice President Biden says that your current position on busing, you're opposed to federally mandated busing, that position is the same as his position. Is he right?
That is simply false. And let's be very clear about this. When Vice President Biden was in the United States Senate working with segregationists to oppose busing, which was the vehicle by which we would integrate America's public schools, had I been in the United States Senate at that time, I would have been completely on the other side of the aisle. And let's be clear about this. Had those segregationists their way, I would not be a member of the United States Senate, Cory Booker would not be a member of the United States Senate, and Barack Obama would not have been in a position to nominate him to the title he now holds. And so, on that issue, we could not be more apart, which is that the Vice President has still failed to acknowledge that it was wrong to take the position that he took at that time. Now, I would like to also talk about this conversation about Eric Garner, because I, too, met with his mother.
She should be working
and
in
one of the things that we've got to be clear about is that this President of the United
States,
States, Donald Trump, while he has been in office, has quietly been allowing the United States Department of Justice to shut down consent decrees, to stop pattern and practice investigations. On that case, we also know that the Civil Rights Division, this is important, the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice said charges should have been filed, but this United States Department of Justice usurped, and I believe it is because that president did not want those charges to go forward, and they overrode a decision by the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice. Under my administration, the Civil Rights Division will reign, and there will be independent investigations.
Vice President Biden, I want to give you a chance to respond to what Senator Harris just said.
Oh, don't they look like such a
Senator Harris was Attorney General for 8 years.
I don't think any of us would have guessed. Oh, that's the ticket right there.
There were two of the most segregated school districts in the country, in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. And she did not, I didn't see a single solitary time she brought a case against them to desegregate them. Secondly, she also is in a situation where she had a police department when she was there that in fact was abusing people's rights. And the fact was that she, in fact, was told by her own people, that her own staff, that she should do something about and disclose to defense attorneys like me that you, in fact, have been, the police officer did something that did not give you information that would exculpate your client. She didn't do that. She never did it. And so what happened? Along came a federal judge and said, enough, and he freed 1,000 of these people. If you doubt me, Google 1,000 prisoners freed, Kamala Harris.
Thank you, Vice President Biden. And Senator Harris, your response?
This is simply not true.
Look at these heavyweights.
As Attorney General of California, where I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice, I am proud of the work we did, work that has received national recognition for what has been the important work of reforming a criminal justice system and cleaning up the consequences of the bills that you passed when you were in the United States Senate for decades. It was the work of creating one of the first in the nation initiatives around re-entering former offenders and getting them jobs and counseling.
Thank you, Senator.
I did the work as Attorney General of putting body cameras on special agents in the state of California, and I'm proud of that work.
I want to bring in Congresswoman Gabbard. Congresswoman Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response?
Oh, it was glorious when that happened.
Look, Kamala's
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches.
If Biden retires immediately after getting in, then the president that's elected has gotten no votes and no delegates.
Yep, a weak person.
We created initiatives that were about re-entry and former offenders and getting them counseling.
It
is why, and because I know that criminal justice system is so broken, that I am an advocate for what we need to do to not only decriminalize but legalize marijuana in the United States.
I want to bring Congresswoman
Tulsi,
Gabbard back
knock
in.
her out.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Yes, yes,
Senator Harris.
My entire career, I have been personally opposed to the death penalty, and that has never changed. And I dare anybody who is in a position to make that decision, to face the people I have faced, to say, I will not seek the death penalty. That is my background. That is my work. I am proud of it. I think you can judge people by when they are under fire, and it's not about some fancy opinion on a stage, but when they're in the position to actually make a decision, what do they do? When I was in the position of having to decide whether or not to seek a death penalty on cases I prosecuted, I made a very difficult decision that was not popular to not seek the death penalty. History shows that, and I am proud of those decisions.
Senator Harris, thank you very much. Senator Bennett, a question for you. Why are you the best candidate to heal the racial divide that exists in this country today, which has been stoked?
All right, so here's the thing, because like they kind of like skip over that, but that's where Tulsi Gabbard really gave the five-finger open hand smack to Kamala, the cop, and that kind of basically derailed her campaign. But yet somehow the Democrats thought it was a fantastic idea to dust her off and put her right back in the race, even though she has no delegates. And she started off big, but then her campaign went under. Let us not forget that there was a real big fight between Biden and Harris early on, but now they're friends. Now they're part of a winning ticket. And see, Tulsi Gabbard was correct. And there's a couple of things that a lot of people tend to forget about good old Kamala the cop Harris. She could have prosecuted, I don't know, this guy. Daniel, you may not have heard of him. Steve Mnuchin.
Never heard of him.
Well, in case some of you may not know who Steve Mnuchin is, he's the guy who said...
Let me guess. Just a small-time guy doing a small-time job.
Yeah, he's now part of Trump's administration. Nothing to worry about. No corruption. But when it came time for her office to prosecute him, it didn't happen. And now you got this jerk, Steve Mnuchin, who says that $1,200 can last somebody 6 months. What? Boy, the rich... You know, some people say the rich are smart, man. I don't know. I think the rich are dumb. Very insulated and in their own world. $1,200 lasting 6 months. If you have successfully kept your stimulus check for that long and made it last for 6 months, type in the comment section below. Prove that Steve Mnuchin is correct. Otherwise, again, Kamala could have stopped it. But also, let us not forget that while she was still Attorney General, she could have imposed policies or maybe fought harder to help those firefighters, actually prisoner firefighters, become real legitimate firefighters so that those programs, they could not be denied to them. She chose not to. She withheld evidence, keeping an innocent man on death row. Again, it's not life row. It's not life row. It's death row. The man could have died, and she kept information proving his innocence under the table. This is Kamala, the cop, who's going to be part of the Biden administration and push Biden to the left? In what world? Corporate media? Blue checkmark people on Twitter? Are you just stupid, or you just pretend to be stupid? Because I'm confused. Daniel.
I was going to say, I really like you coining life row. We're all on this planet on life row. Some of us have a worse sentence than others.